What a guy, huh? Christopher Columbus, the man who dared to dream big and sail into the unknown. He was convinced he could find a new route to India by sailing westward. I wanted to find a shortcut to India. The spices, the riches, the exotic goods, they were all calling my name. I was determined to make my mark in history. I thought sailing west was the way to go. It seemed like a brilliant idea at the time. The earth is round, right? So why not just go the other way? Little did I know a giant landmass was in the way. Surprise! Instead of India, I stumbled upon a whole new world. The sight of this vast, uncharted territory was both thrilling and bewildering.
He bumped right into America. It was an unexpected twist in his grand adventure. The land was unlike anything he had ever seen before. He called it the Indies because, well, he wasn't very good at geography. The maps were all wrong, and he was convinced he had reached his destination.
India is that way, the locals tried to tell him, but Columbus was adamant. He believed he had found a new route to the east.
Columbus sailed back to Spain a hero. He was celebrated for his discovery even though he hadn't actually found what he was looking for. He told everyone about the gold and spices. The tales of his journey were filled with wonder and excitement. The treasures he brought back were proof of his success. He forgot to mention the part where he didn't actually find India. Oops, it was a minor detail in the grand scheme of things, right? No problem, right? He could just sail back and find it for real this time. Columbus was undeterred. He was ready to set sail again, driven by the same ambition and determination that had fueled his first voyage. The quest for India was far from over. Columbus set sail again. This time he had a fancy compass. Too bad he didn't know how to use it. He kept turning left when he should have turned right. He ended up right back where he started, America.
Wait a minute, I've been here before.
But everyone was too busy celebrating to notice. They thought he found a new part of India.
Close enough.
Free food and parties it is. Columbus kept sailing back and forth across the ocean. He kept landing in the same place. He was starting to think that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't India. I mean, they didn't have any elephants, and where were the spices?
Instead of spices, I found corn. Lots and lots of corn. Now, corn is great and all, but it's not exactly what I was looking for. I may not have been the sharpest tool in the shed, but even I knew this wasn't India. Section 4, Deja Vu all over again, the never-ending voyage. Every time I thought I was close to finding India, bam! There I was, staring at the same shores, the same landscapes, and the same people. It was as if the universe was playing a cosmic joke on me. I ended up back in America. Again and again, no matter how many times I set sail with high hopes and dreams of exotic spices and riches, I found myself in the same place. It was like a bad case of deja vu. Each time, the same sequence of events unfolded, and I couldn't help but feel a mix of frustration and amusement. I met the same friendly people who welcomed me with open arms and curious smiles. They must have thought I was the most persistent visitor they'd ever seen. I saw the same strange plants, each time marveling at their uniqueness and wondering what secrets they held. The flora was unlike anything I had ever seen in Europe, and ate the same delicious, but not spicy, food. The flavors were a delightful surprise, a comforting constant in my otherwise repetitive journey.
You'd think he'd learn his lesson, right? After so many failed attempts, one would assume Columbus would reconsider his route or perhaps even his destination. Nope. Columbus kept on sailing, convinced that India was just around the corner. His determination was both admirable and slightly baffling. He never did find it, but hey, at least he got a continent named after him. In the end, his persistence paid off in a way he never expected, leaving a legacy that would be remembered for centuries.
Section 5, History's Biggest Oops, Remembering Columbus. Ah, Columbus, the man, the myth, the legend, or should we say the legend of getting lost. So how should we remember Christopher Columbus? As a great explorer, the man who bravely sailed the ocean blue in 1492, a skilled navigator, someone who knew exactly where he was going? Nah, let's be real here. Let's be honest, the man was lost most of the time. He thought he was in Asia, but surprise, he was in the Americas. He was a lovable goofball who accidentally stumbled upon a new world multiple times. Imagine thinking you're in India and finding out you're in a completely different continent.
Maybe history books should focus on the funny side of his adventures. Instead of just the dates and places, let's add some humor. They could call him Columbus, the explorer who couldn't find his way out of a paper bag. Imagine the chapters filled with his misadventures. Now that's a legacy we can all laugh about, because sometimes history is just one big comedy of errors. And who knows, maybe that's the best way to remember Columbus. Not as a perfect hero, but as a human, full of flaws and funny moments. After all, it's these imperfections that make history so interesting and relatable. So here's to Columbus, the explorer who made us laugh even centuries later.